Today I'm showing you how to make the best bagels at home. It's been a minute since I made bagels on here, so that's what we're gonna do today, starting with 2 cups of warm water, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. I always use a fast rise yeast, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Give that a little mix and we'll let it sit for about 5-10 minutes until it gets nice and foamy. I have 1/2 cup of melted butter. This is not hot, it's just warm to touch so it won't kill the yeast. Now I'm using salted butter, so I'm not gonna add any salt. I found that when I use salted butter, that's like the perfect amount of salt. So if you have unsalted butter, just make sure to add a teaspoon or 2 of salt. But I'm just going to use salted butter and that works for me. I always use bread flour for bagels because it has a higher protein content, so it makes a nice chewy bagel. I'll start with 2 cups. We're gonna use up to 5 cups of flour. So go ahead and mix your 2 cups. 3rd cup, 4th cup. And you can absolutely use a stand mixer for this. I'm just doing it by hand, so if you don't have a stand mixer at home, these are the steps you would take. Now that the dough has come together like this, I'm gonna grab a 5th cup of flour, and we'll sprinkle some flour from this 5th cup down onto the mat and add our dough. Sprinkle the top, and I'm gonna knead this until it comes together, and I'll add flour when it starts to get sticky, and this should take about 8 minutes. Once your dough is ready, just place it into a greased bowl, cover it up, and let it set for like an hour, hour and a half, just until it doubles in size. I did use all of that 5th cup of flour. It's been an hour and our dough has doubled, so I'm gonna flip it out onto my mat. I'm going to make 8 bagels, so I'm gonna cut this into 8 individual pieces and I just eyeball it. To form the bagel, I'll just take each slice and form it into a ball, and then poke a hole in the middle, and you have your first bagel. And I'll continue around and do that with the rest of these. Once my bagels are all shaped, I just cover them up with saran wrap, and then I just take a clean dish towel and cover them up. While they rest, I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven to 400 degrees, and then I'm gonna get a big pot of water boiling. Once the bagels have rested for a little bit, you'll notice they kind of puff up and proof again. That's exactly what you want. We'll add our bagels to the water once it comes to a rolling boil, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of honey just to flavor the water. I'm also adding a few tablespoons of baking soda, and that just helps with the texture of the bagels. Place your bagel in the boiling water and boil 40 seconds per side. So just flip it and do 40 seconds on the other side, and then place it on a cookie sheet that's been lined with parchment paper like this. Just topping them with egg wash. For this first batch, I'm gonna do 2 sesame seeds and 2 everything bagel. I'll go ahead and pop these in the oven at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, and while these bake, I'm gonna start on my second batch. This batch, I'm just doing a cinnamon sugar bagel and then a plain bagel with this little coarse sea salt on top. And this is how our bagels turned out. We have the everything, the sesame, the plain, and the cinnamon sugar. And here's how they look up close. They turn out perfect every time. Let me know if you try it.